Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. How is everyone feeling today? Today is a cool, exciting, fresh start for me, and I'm excited to share this 90-day transformation. What exactly is it? And I also want to invite you guys, if you want to join me on this 90 days. We are here in Utah getting closer and closer to spring. And one thing I want to say is that if you are wanting to get into your summer body, the time is now, right? It's going to take a few months, right, for our body to, whether you're trying to build muscle or you're trying to lose fat, it takes some time for our body to transform. So this 90-day transformation, this is not just, a physical transformation, though that is a big part of it, right? Because of course, we want to look our best, feel our best, have the energy and all the things. But this is also about the mindset behind it. It's about the belief systems. It's about how we train our brain to be disciplined and also to transform into a new identity. Why is this so important? I know that I've discussed this in previous lives. It's something that is extremely it's a big passion of mine, because I know that for myself, a lot of my own transformation and the changes that I've made in my life was really predicated on the fact that I learned so much about my mind, my mindset, and how our brains, right, and our thoughts and our belief systems really do shape the person that we become. So with that in mind, this 90-day challenge is a space where we obviously give ourselves 90 days. Of course, it takes some time to build a habit, right? Because habits, they can be built within, 21 to 30 days. That's the studies are showing that's about how long it takes to create a new habit. But we're talking about creating lifestyle, not just a new habit, because you can change a habit, but to instill this in your identity, to make it a part of your new lifestyle, it takes a little bit longer. And studies are showing that it takes about 90 days for us to implement a habit, then can turn into a lifestyle. And that is the goal. With everything that I do, I really do believe that everything that we implement that is healthy, we should try to put that as a part of our lifestyle and identity. Because the goal isn't to just do something healthy and then be like, okay, I want a New Year's resolution. Okay, I work out for 2 months and then I go back to my old habits again, right? Because that's just going to take you right back to where you started, right? So let's make changes, even if they're small ones, that allow us to actually maintain where we are and allow ourselves to create a new set point, right? So what is a set point? A set point is a set of behaviors. It's a set of belief systems, and it's how you currently act that has allowed you to get the results that you have right now, right? So I want you guys to ask yourself, let's be honest. Let's do an accountability check-in with ourselves and the results that we have. Where are we in health? Are we where we want to be? Or do we have new goals that we've set this year that we want to achieve? Maybe financially, right? Are we in the place that we want to be, or do we still have goals that we have set for ourselves that we haven't hit yet? Same thing with our relationships. Same thing with your friendships and your community. Are there spaces and places in your life that you haven't yet reached your desire or your goal, right? Because the thing is, if we want to reach those goals and we have been moving along and we haven't gotten those things yet, something needs to change, right? What is the saying? If we keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, that is the definition of insanity. So that is one of the really cool things about this 90-day transformation. We had a couple comments here asking, what is the topic? The topic today is this 90-day transformation. And why is this so important? Because like I said in the beginning, we as human beings are a set of programs, a set of belief systems that allows us to get a certain result. With that in mind, I have really learned and understood that, okay, sometimes the biggest thing that we need as human beings is accountability, is something to help us stick to something long enough. So this can be, of course, doing challenges, things like 90-day transformations, right? But also having a group of people that can help hold you accountable while you're making these changes. Because the thing about us as people is that our bodies are not designed for looking forward to change. Our bodies don't like that, right? Because our bodies are designed for survival, not for happiness. And I know this sounds kind of sad, right? Like, oh gosh, right? Because a lot of people think that because they consciously want more money, because they consciously want a better relationship, or, they want to be healthy, that means that they're just going to get healthy. Well, your body doesn't care about a six pack. Your body doesn't care about being lean and healthy. Your body doesn't even care about getting a healthy relationship or having financial independence. Your body and your energy's main goal is to keep you safe and to keep you in the familiar. With this in mind, we have to understand, okay, if I'm going to embark on a journey of self-development, of achieving my goals, of trying to make more money or get in a healthy relationship or improve my life in any area, then I'm going to have to understand there's probably going to be some things that I have to walk through when it comes to maybe feeling a little bit uncomfortable, maybe facing some fears, changing some things about myself. And that is where a lot of people run into roadblocks, because people think it's going to be easy, right? Because, well, I really want this so bad. So clearly if I try to do it and it doesn't work, then it's probably not for me, right? I've heard this with a lot of people. And this is where people end up living their entire lives and then having regrets because they didn't actually move toward and follow through with the things that they really wanted, because they constantly ran into resistance. They ran into problems and roadblocks because they didn't understand how to move past them. Okay, so that's the main thing that I really want to share with you guys today, and the purpose, right, of this 90-day transformation. Because the way that this is set up, let me share with you guys what's included, right, in this 90-day transformation. Okay, I will go ahead and answer the comments here in a moment, guys. So just give me a couple minutes to finish sharing the main points that I want to touch on, and then we'll end up with a Q&A. Okay, so what's included in this 90-day transformation? The first thing is our brain entrainment. Brain entrainment is basically frequencies, and even this could go as far as you utilizing different therapies that are retraining your neural pathways. And the thing is, with all the things that we go through in our life, right? Many of us come from traumatic experiences, and the truth is we accumulate a lot of different experiences throughout our lives that can cause our brains to become not coherent, right? And when we don't have that coherence between our mind, our heart, right, and our thoughts and our belief systems, we fall out of sync with moving in the direction of our desires, right? So brain entrainment allows our brain waves and our frequencies to start realigning, so that not only we can become more peaceful, but this can also help basically rebalancing your nervous system. And I will explain this in just a moment. This is a whole nother topic that I could do a whole nother live on, and that is the connection between your nervous system and your belief systems, and how this can basically affect how you move toward your desires, or the people that get stuck, right? Everything goes back to the nervous system. But we start with the mind, right? We have to start with retraining our belief systems, retraining the way that we think about ourselves, and also the neural pathways and how they connect with how we think and how we show up. So this brain entrainment is a big part of this 90-day challenge that we're doing, okay? And on top of that, we have breath work. And breath work tends to be a pretty trendy subject lately. But this is one that's really important because everything, again, goes back to the nervous system, right? If your body is stuck in a fight, flight, fawn, or freeze state, then you are going to find that when you're going to the next level in any area of your life, your body is going to run into one of the four of these states, right? Because this is very normal. So how do we combat this? We train our bodies to learn how to breathe through and regulate our nervous system, so that when we are going through the next level, we know how to calm the body. We know how to regulate the nervous system. Remember how I said our bodies are designed for survival and not for thriving? So I want to give an example here because this is going to really make this easier to understand and easier to grasp, right? Let's say that you are making $5,000 a month right now, but your goal is to hit a 10K month. You're wanting to make $10,000 a month, and you notice that when you set this goal, right, you start moving toward it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you started another job, or maybe you started your own business, you started making money online, but after the first 2 or 3 weeks, you notice that your body and your behaviors are starting to show self-sabotage. This can show up in so many ways. It can show up in procrastination. This can show up as all of a sudden you're finding reasons to quit, or your reasons why this isn't going to work out for you, or you start listening to the opinions of others, of people telling you that maybe it's not possible, or maybe you're not capable, right? Anything and everything that's coming from the outside world that's telling us, or whatever, that you can't do it. Self-sabotaging behaviors that come up, right? This is where regulation exercises come into play so well, because once again, we can breathe through these experiences, allow ourselves to reflect, and not let the body go into self-sabotaging behaviors that will eventually block you from reaching your goal. Okay, so that is the power of breath work. Breath work is so grounding, brings you back to the present moment, allows you to reflect, it allows you to regulate the nervous system, bringing our bodies out of a stress state and into a relaxed place where we can really be grounded and make smart decisions, because it allows us to respond instead of react. Okay? And the third one that is very powerful here is gratitude. And I would say, even for myself, gratitude has probably been the number one most transformative practices that I've added to my routine. I've been doing this for, I want to say almost 10 years now, and that is daily gratitude. Specifically, first thing in the morning when you wake up. Why? Because when you're first waking up in the morning, your brain is primed and ready for being reprogrammed. Your brain is in a theta brainwave state, which is very, very receptive to new thought processes, new emotions. And this is when you have the most power to change your old programs, right? And different belief systems. So we're going to use gratitude as a way to retrain our brain. This, guys, this is so powerful. Like, gratitude is going to help you shift your mind to being solution oriented. It is going to help you see the silver lining, which a lot of people think is just like, oh, yay, positive, woo, woo, everybody looks on the bright side. This literally changes your health. It changes your relationships. It changes the energy that you show up in, which will change how other people and things in your life respond to you. This goes so much deeper than just being a positive person and looking on the bright side of life. There is so many studies now. If you want to go really in depth with this, study quantum physics, study all of these things that are proving now the tie between science and spirituality, and how our energy, our frequency, the way that we think affects the body and radiates out, right? We are constantly in communication with the quantum field. We are constantly communicating with our energy, not just with your words, right? Because you can say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, but your energy can be putting out the frequency of shame and guilt and sadness, right? So it's about being congruent. The energy that you are embodying every single day is actually congruent with what type of life you're wanting to live, because that is what you're sending out. That is what gratitude helps us do. It shifts us completely into a new state, a new frequency that is going to make everything that you're moving towards so much easier, right? It's going to come quicker. It's going to come easier to you because you're going to be in alignment. You're going to make the right decisions at the right time. You're more likely to be in the right place at the right time. I hope I'm selling gratitude right, because this has been the biggest game changer for me, right? And also enjoying the process, right? That's, I think, one of the most important things is that as human beings, we get so caught in reaching the goal. Oh, I want to get to my goal weight. Oh, I want to get to the partnership. Oh, I want to make my $10,000 a month. Every single day is important that we stay present, that we enjoy the process, and that we're using gratitude as a way to be positive and enjoy our life. Because life is about the daily moments and the in between achieving the goals, right? So this is very, very powerful, and one of the things that we will be implementing on this 90-day transformation. Okay. And the fourth one here is our movement, right? I know that I touch on this a lot. I obviously am very passionate, and I love health and fitness because of the way it transforms your mind, your body, your ability to show up for yourself, to put yourself first. And it's such a simple thing to do that a lot of people miss. And I think that if everybody could just make this a part of their routine, they would see such dramatic changes in every aspect of their life. So movement, put simply, is literally just anything that you enjoy doing that gets your body moving. Simple enough. So whether this is you going to the gym, right? Strength training is one of the things I preach all the time because the immense benefits of maintaining your muscle mass, of building muscle, so good for longevity, so good for helping control your blood sugar levels, for improving your brain health, decreasing depression and anxiety, all the things, right? But this could also be you walking with your dog, going dancing, going to different classes that you love. Anything that you enjoy that is. Thank you guys for the gifts. Right now, I am live on a lot of platforms, guys. I shouldn't say a lot of, but a few platforms. So if you're wondering what I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at my phone here that's set up as well. So like I said, movement is key because it's going to make you feel better. It's going to improve your life in so many ways. So make sure that we're implementing that on these 90 days. And the reason why I have given people like the choice in terms of what to do for movement is another thing that people miss. And that is, if you don't implement something that you at least kind of enjoy when it comes to movement and exercise, what is the chance that you're actually going to stick to it, right? If I force you to go to the gym and exercise, but you hate it, there's a very, very low chance that you're going to stay consistent because it's not something that you actually enjoy. So the goal of this is to create healthy habits that are sustainable, that you can actually stick to. And we do that by implementing something that you enjoy doing. And who knows, maybe with some time, you will enjoy going to the gym or exercising more. But in the meantime, I want you guys to think of implementing something that you actually enjoy, because this will make a big difference. And then as you start building up that habit of discipline, the habit of showing up for yourself and putting yourself first, then you will start to fall in love with the process more and more and more. Okay. So once again, guys, this is just an invitation. Today is day one for myself. The beautiful thing is that I also am working with a community of people who are going to be embarking on this journey with myself. And it would be awesome, of course, if you guys want to join us too. It's really going to be something that doesn't take a whole lot of time out of your day, but these small incremental changes really do add up to massive results. And I'm not the type of person that just believes in external results, because my version of success is so much more than just having money in your bank account and having a person by your side, right? Or having a nice body, right? Your success is external and internal. You can have a perfect life externally, right? All the things that someone may look at you and say, wow, you are so successful because you have all the stuff, right? But if you are not at peace with yourself, if you don't love the person that you are, if you are constantly living with anxiety, depression, and just not feeling good every day, is that really success? What really is success, right? Because this is another thing that is, I mean, this has been something that I've thought about for a long time, but I think is a question that we should reflect on often, because all of us are going to have a different definition of what this looks like and what this is. And it is important, because otherwise we get lost in life. We get lost chasing stuff that we think will make us feel good when we get it. And yes, I'm not going to lie to you guys. When you get stuff, it feels good, right? When you get nice things, you get the new car, you buy the new house, when you get in the new relationship, it's going to feel good for a while until you go back to your baseline, until you go back to the reality, which is being back to where you were before, right? Because You are the one that decides how you feel regardless of external circumstances, right? This is a whole nother level, and we're going to get into this in this day transformation, because we're not just talking about transforming your external world, we're talking about transforming your internal world, because you free yourself, you become successful internally and externally, right? That's the goal. It's not just about stuff, it's about who you are, because that is one thing I'll tell you right now, no one can ever take away what you have built internally. The belief systems, the identity, the person that you are, no one can take that away from you. People can take away everything that you have, but guess what they can't take? Who you are. So this is the most valuable thing. The most valuable thing is you. The most valuable thing is who you become. And everything in your life will match who you are. Okay? Let me go ahead and take some questions, and then we'll discuss a little bit more here. We already answered that one. Hello on YouTube. Thank you guys for joining today. Will you incorporate workout trainings and healthy meal preps into your lives? That's a possibility. I could do that. Most of my content when it comes to my food and my workouts and things like that is over on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me over on Instagram, you can follow me there. My handle is Holly J. Wayman. You can find me over there. I do post more about my meals, what I meal prep. I don't really do a whole lot of like workouts per se, but I do post some exercises and different things that I do on a daily. Right now I'm doing about 3 days in the gym. I also do 1 to 2 days a week of Pilates and yoga. I like to keep it more balanced now. I used to do a lot more just the gym, and now I really am loving incorporating more balance. So everything starts in the mind. Yes, exactly. So this is really important stuff, because I think that in today's world, it's just easy, right? It's just easy as a human being to get so lost in the material things. But the most valuable things in life really are free. And that's the thing that a lot of people, I think they don't want you to know that, because then they can't make money off of you. They can't control you. So you want to really make sure that you understand what is the true asset, and that is you, right? Who you become and the type of person that you embody, and the belief systems and the identities like I've already discussed, okay? Alrighty, let me go ahead and check over here. Like I said, with TikTok, my friends, I know that I have tons and tons of comments that come in here, so it's going to be a little bit challenging for me to get to everyone, so I apologize if I miss some of your questions. Let me see if I can just find a couple here. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, I'm not seeing any specific questions. Thank you guys for the comments. Appreciate it. So another thing that I want to get into, I find it easy for me to like get off track a little bit if I don't focus. So another thing that's really important that I've already discussed a little bit is the identity, right? The identity behind why are we changing? What is the reason why you want to change? Is it because you think that when you get in the relationship that finally you'll have love? Is it because you think that when you make the money, then you will finally be free, and that you will have the feeling of being proud? Maybe you'll have the feeling of being accomplished. Or maybe when you're healthy, right? Or maybe when you change your body, you'll feel like you love yourself more. Maybe that you feel like, oh, I'm 50 pounds overweight and I don't like how I look. And you think that changing your body is going to change how you feel about yourself, right? This is an illusion. It is. I know it sounds crazy. And I also think that this is one of the most, how do I say this? It's the most deceiving, because you can change your external reality and feel good temporarily, like I've already said. But the most powerful shift that we can make is internal. Because when you change how you feel about yourself before you change your body, it's going to happen and you're going to maintain it. right? This is where a lot of people have bounce back syndrome, I like to call it, because they change something because they absolutely dislike where they are. And there's the problem. It's about how can I be happy with where I am while I move toward the thing that I am desiring? Do you feel the difference? There's a very different energy in how you approach this. One is I can't stand it where I am, and when I get over there, I'll feel better. The other is I appreciate where I am. I'm okay with where I am, and I still would prefer to have more money. I still would prefer to be healthier. I would still prefer to be in a relationship or prefer to be single, right? Different energy. And how you approach these things is going to impact the results that you get and how you feel, which is important, right? The quality of life that we're looking for is inside of you and your decisions to show up and learn how to regulate yourself, learn how to feel good through the process, right? Here's another thing that I would like to bring to our attention today, and that is, why do you think that you want the things that you want? Because it's going to make you feel better, right? You want the money because it's going to make you feel better. You want the health because you think it's going to make you feel better. You want the relationships. We want the relationships because we think it will make us feel better. What if I told you that you don't need the stuff to make you feel better? What if we're just using external things as an excuse to feel what we can feel right now? Right? Does that mean that we're not going to achieve our goals? Of course not. But it means that we need to learn this valuable lesson because this allows us to move toward our desires and our goals without fear and urgency and a sense of anxiety and often depression that is also what causes the roadblocks for people, right? It is the reason why people continually are miserable until they get there, right? It's like you're postponing your happiness for what, though? For what? Right? It doesn't mean that you're not going to move toward it. Like I said, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get all the things that you want in your life, but it's something that we need to be aware of. This is another thing that I've seen for myself so many times. And I'm going to give an example of health, right? I started my health and fitness journey when I was actually very young, right? I went through puberty and I gained probably 30 pounds within the span of 3 months, right? And I believe at the time I was 13. And then when I turned 14, I remember feeling so terrible about my body. I literally thought I was unlovable. I thought no one was ever going to love me because of how I looked, because I tied so much of my self-worth, my self-esteem to how I looked on the outside, right? And so because of that, I started exercising and eating less, not from a space of love for myself, but from a space of self-hatred, from a space of you are not good enough. You need to change, because if you don't change, then no one's going to love you. And is this true? No. I gained 30 pounds, right? Okay, sure, maybe I was a little more overweight than I wanted to be. But the point I'm getting at is that we have to become aware of what it is that's driving our behaviors, because here's another thing that manifested, right? I started losing weight and I became obsessed. And I got skinnier and skinnier and skinnier, developed eating disorders, right? Starving myself, working out twice a day, pushing my body to the absolute limit. And all that happened was I kept getting smaller, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And it wasn't enough. Why? Because how I was approaching the situation was not with the right energy. Fast forward, I want to share a little bit more about how I approach my health and my body today. Now, when I go to the gym and when I eat healthy, it is from the space of love and care for my body. There are no extremes. I'm not pushing myself to the absolute limit because I'm showing up for different energy. I take care of my body and I exercise because I care for myself and I want to feel good. I want to have energy, right? I want to feel good about myself. Yes, of course, I want to look good too. Yeah, but I'm not going to let myself go into extremes and do things that hurt my health to get to a specific goal. There is no sacrificing my health and all those things just to look a certain way, because I come from a space of love now for myself. So I hope this is making sense, right? Completely different energy. And the energy that you approach a situation with will change the type of decisions and the type of actions that you take in order to achieve the goal. I've seen this happen in finances as well with many, many, many people. And it is why they are miserable in not only the journey to reaching financial freedom, but oftentimes they get to the goal and then they look back and they're like, whoa, I thought that I was going to feel way happier when I got here. I thought I was going to feel way more fulfilled when I got here. And they're not. Because that's not the thing that they really were wanting. They were wanting to feel enough. They were wanting to feel love. But a lot of us use our external circumstances and goals that we chase as a distraction from looking at ourselves and actually giving ourselves the love and the care that we need, that would make it so that we don't have to chase and abandon ourselves because we feel so disconnected from that joy in the moment. Is this making sense, guys? Is this making any sense? I know that this is a little bit of maybe a more advanced conversation, because yes, this requires a little bit more self-awareness to understand really where I'm coming from. But I'm sharing this because I wish someone would have told me this years ago, when I was chasing things, when I was goal setting and achieving, but I was moving from a space, excuse me, guys. I was moving from a space of constant anxiety, feeling not enough, feeling like I'll be happy when I'm over there. I need to hurry up. I need to hurry up and be skinny because I don't feel good and happy now. I need more money now, because if I don't have more money, then I'm not enough and I'm not successful and I'm not this, right? All of these things that run the show subconsciously that most of us have, because let's be real, there's a lot of negative belief systems, patterning, and things that we've learned along the way, right? That just run the show. This is why so many people are moving not from a space of love and joy and passion, but from a place of survival, fear, and not being good enough. So very, very helpful to understand these things, because it changes the way you move. It might even change the things that you want, because I know for myself, when I was younger, like, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, 6-7 years ago, I thought I wanted to have all the luxuries. I wanted to be on the cover of Forbes. I wanted to be flying in private jets around the world and, with the perfect body. And I wanted to be, the prettiest girl in the world. All these things that I wanted wasn't from a genuine place. It was from a place of feeling the need to prove myself, feeling the need to be successful, and thinking that maybe when I achieved those things and when I got to this place in my life, this success that is modeled to us by modern society, right? Having all the things, right? Having all this money and luxury, right? Because that's what we associate success to. That then I will feel good enough. Then I'll feel like I did it, right? I know that this is something that Jim Carrey's talked about in one of his speeches, and it was such a beautiful thing that when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. And I feel very grateful to have this awareness at such a young age, because I know that there's a lot of people, to be honest, that they never figure this out in their entire life. They live their entire life in fear, feeling inadequate, feeling unlovable, feeling like they're a failure, and constantly achieving, doing, goal setting, going after things, being people who aren't right for them, being around the people that aren't right for them, all because they're coming from a space of fear. Is that really what we want? I don't I don't want that. We don't even know how long we have to live. And I'm like, dang, I know that for me, I would love to be able to live a good life where I'm not moving constantly from a space of suffering, because let's be real, that's not coming from a place of thriving, right? Moving from those spaces is not coming from a joyful place, right? So anyways, I hope this is an eye-opener for some people, because I know that this would have been a good conversation for me to hear years ago. But to get back to the gist of everything that I was discussing today, and the whole purpose of this invitation is to let you guys know that today is my day one. I'm doing a 90-day transformation, and this transformation for me is about, it's just another opportunity for me to show up from a space of love, to be disciplined because I decided to commit to myself, not for the reason that I need to get somewhere else because I'll be happier over there. It is because I'm learning to be joyful along the journey, choosing to show up and even do the uncomfortable things. Even when I don't feel like it, I still show up because I love myself enough that I know what it does for me when I still do the things that are necessary for me to show that I love myself with actionable steps, right? Even on the days when I don't feel like it, I'm still going to eat healthy. Even on the days when I don't feel like exercising or going on a walk, I'm still going to do it from a space of love, right? All of these things coming from a very, very different place. And that has been very transformative for me because it's allowed me really to regulate my nervous system. It's allowed me to heal a lot of trauma that I was holding in my body and change the way that I relate with myself and also partners, right? With relationships in my life that have changed, with my friendships and my family, right? Healing those relationships, it starts with healing yourself. It starts with healing the relationship that you have with yourself. And here's another eye opener. Your relationship with yourself will also heal your relationship with money, your relationship with your health, your relationship with people. Because all of these things in this external world, we have relationships with. And when you have an unhealthy relationship with anything outside of you, it's a sign something inside of you needs attention. Right? Right? This is all stuff that we need to hear. Big brother, big sister, mama conversations that maybe you didn't hear from your mama, maybe you didn't hear from your papa, and these are things that we need. These are the healing conversations that benefit us significantly, right? Okay, my friends, I'm gonna take maybe a couple questions here, and then I'm gonna head off because I also have I have some other things I gotta do today, believe it or not. Okay, we have a question over here on Instagram. How do you keep yourself accountable? That is an amazing question. So, I think that one of the most powerful things with accountability, especially when you're first getting started in any aspect of life, whether this is financial, relational, anything, find a group of people or a friend or even a partner that can help keep you accountable. I'm not saying that you shouldn't rely on your self-accountability, but the thing is, your self-accountability is like a muscle, and you build it with having miniature successes or mini wins along your journey. The more that you can stay accountable, the more that you build confidence with yourself, the more that you build trust with yourself. So initially, what is very helpful is to, like I said, become a part of a community that are interested in or doing the same things that you are trying to do, right? Let's say that you're trying to make more money, whatever this is, right? Put yourself in groups where those people are doing those daily action steps that are moving them closer to their financial independence and freedom, so that you can constantly be reminded of that and see that every day. That's going to help keep you accountable, right? So that's one way. Another way, of course, is putting yourself in circles. If you're lucky enough to be in person, accountability, I think, is one of the most powerful, right? So if you have a partner, asking them to keep you accountable and hold you accountable, right? And friends that can do the same for you. But of course, on top of all of this, the most important thing is our self accountability. And I think that we build that again by setting small behavior changes or small habits that we can follow on a daily basis that you can actually stick to. And then when you get those daily wins, you build the muscle of self-trust, confidence, and self-accountability. So, for example, let's say that right now I have a hard time holding myself accountable. Maybe I start with, you know what? I'm going to, every single day that I wake up, I'm going to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for every morning. Simple. Could take you less than 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes out of your day. Showing up every day doing that simple task is going to build accountability because now you're showing up for yourself and you're building that. And then you start to add more things. You start to have bigger wins. And that is where you start to feel that momentum, because momentum is powerful. But if you put so much on your plate at once, expecting yourself to follow through, you're more likely to be let down. And then you're going to literally not break, that's a harsh word, but you're going to make it so that it's harder for you to trust yourself. So be compassionate, understand, maybe, like I said, whatever it is that you're looking to do financially, with your relationships, whatever it is that you're wanting to see a change in, find something that's very small, a small habit that you could add to your day that won't take a ton of time, but that can build the muscle of self-trust and self-confidence. Because I've noticed for myself that that's been huge, because then you will start to naturally have that self-accountability, right? And one more thing I want to say on that topic, because this is a really, really big one. Accountability is so big, because a lot of people walk around in this world and cannot take accountability for anything. So anyone here today who can take accountability for their life, for their decisions, congratulations, because this is a huge, huge step in the right direction. I don't even know how many people I know in my life that are genuinely the type of people that can take accountability. Like it's rare. It's very rare. So if you can work on that simple thing, like taking accountability when you make a mistake, when you have a win, right? Both of those are your responsibility. Both of those are from you, right? All of the things, all the reactions, everything that you do, being able to take accountability for those things is huge. And for people who are struggling with this, because I understand that in the early stages of my journey, when it came to taking accountability for being where I was, because I wasn't happy with my life and I wasn't happy with where I was, it was so hard to take accountability. In fact, if anyone tried to hold me accountable, oh boy, I got defensive, I got angry, because it was very hard. So the first thing that you can do in this situation is get therapy and heal yourself to the point where you can take accountability without it feeling like a personal attack, right? Because the truth is, it does take some healing work in order to get to a place where you can take accountability. Don't be mad at yourself and don't be harsh on yourself if this is the place that you're in, right? Get the help that you need, because you probably just need someone to see you and to notice where you are, so that you can have that space of feeling seen, loved, and heard. And then you'll naturally want to show up with the space of accountability, because accountability is it's a more mature, it's a more conscious energy. And when you're traumatized and you haven't processed through that stuff, your consciousness and your energy is still going to be stuck in a very immature place, right? That's just the reality. We're stuck. We get parts of our energy, our consciousness, and ourselves, they get trapped in the past with lots of traumas. So if you are feeling like it's hard for you to take accountability, be compassionate with yourself. There's a reason for that, and it's completely normal. It's not beating yourself up about it, but getting the help that you need so that you can actually move forward and start taking more accountability in your life without it feeling like the worst thing that ever happened, right? This is important. This is so awesome to hear this. Thank you guys. I'm glad that helps. All right. Let's see. Okay, I think, like I said, I apologize if I've missed a lot of your questions. I do my best to find as many as I can. Sometimes they come in too quickly. So that's pretty much the gist of today. If you guys are ready to embark on a 90-day transformation and you're wanting to have people there to hold you accountable, then this is an opportunity to show up, to take some time to commit to yourself, not from a space of fear or that you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm whatever it is. I'm afraid that if I don't do this, that I will never be good enough. Or basically what I'm getting at is it would be very helpful for all of us to learn to move from a space more and more as we learn and grow from a space of love and compassion and not from a space of fear and rejection. Because it changes the actions we take, the behaviors that we show up in, how we treat people, and the energy and the love that we have for ourselves. So I hope this was helpful, guys. It was very good to see all of you. Well, I'm not seeing you, but hear from you on this beautiful Monday. Okay, last one, and then I'm gonna go. Do you feel like you're living your best life? I do. I very much so do. I wake up most days with a lot of gratitude in my heart because of the life that I have. And it took a lot of, I'm not going to lie, it took a lot of suffering and struggle to get me to where I am today. And ultimately, like I said, everyone's version of success is going to be different. But for me, it's about having the inner peace. For so much of my life, I lived in constant stress, guys, like really bad. I mean, I was living in low-grade depression, but my depression went from like feeling really low and really depressed, and then the next moment feeling like extreme anxiety. So I lived in a very, very chaotic place for a lot of my life, and including my childhood. And so now being in a place where not only do I have a lot of the external things that I wanted, in fact, most of them, I have a very healthy relationship. I'm living in a beautiful home, in a nice space, being able to do, business, doing the things that I love to do, and also having a healthy body that is feeling good and I look, how I want to look. But for me, the success for me is really internal. It's about the person that I've become. It's about the skill sets that I now have to regulate myself, to find peace even when life throws curveballs, right? And to just appreciate and be present from moment to moment, because I couldn't do that before. I couldn't be present. I don't even think I had a hard time with that because I was in constant turmoil, that it was like I was wanting to constantly escape the present moment instead of enjoy the journey. So to me, that's success. And I hope that everyone gets to experience that, because it's something that's so liberating and freeing and beautiful. And I think that's really what we came here to do, to be honest. We did not come here to suffer and struggle. We came here to take the experiences that we had, which, yes, let's be honest, a lot of the time they're not good ones, right? A lot of us have maybe gone through hard things in our childhood. Maybe you've gone through a lot of pain and suffering and struggle. But how can you take those experiences and turn them into your strength, turn them into your power, and make it to where you can make a beautiful life from the ingredients that you were given? All of us have them. All of us have been given, more or less, you could say, of positive or negative things. But ultimately, it's how can you turn those things into your asset? How can you make it work in your favor? So that's been my life. And when I made that mindset shift, that's what really changed the trajectory of my life because I lived in victimhood for so long and I made everything that happened to me, right, work against me. Because you have the choice. We all have the choice. You basically decide that, wow, all these crazy hard things happen to me. Wow, how can I turn this into my benefit? Or we can see it as, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened to me. Poor me. Oh my gosh, I'm such a victim. Both of them are true, but one leads to freedom and one leads to imprisonment. So anyways, great chat, my friends. Let me go ahead and check Instagram one more time because I know that a lot of the time I miss comments over there. But yeah, it's been a good conversation. I will be back for more of this, of course, with you guys. I will be posting. I want to post more videos. I do a lot more lives than I do actual content, which is something that I want to change in the next little bit. So look forward to that. But for now, that is all I have. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.